Namasté, so family. I hope there are no statics from the from the airwaves due to the current climatic conditions that we're experiencing. Weather conditions we're currently experiencing here in Jamaica. Frequencies, energies, waves, currents, and flow. Yesterday, hold on. Yesterday, pretty much, all I could do was to, there goes the static. Okay, because I had to shift a bit. My apologies for the inconvenience there. Okay. Let's go again. Back down. Yesterday, I'm happy even me, I'm still learning, being human and all. Like I said, life is a spiraling, staircase, 69. Cancer frequency, cycles. And, the more I learn, there's always more to learn. Knowledge is pretty much infinite, and the understanding and wisdom that goes with it, is they're pretty much the same. Hence, the spiraling, staircase. Things we once learned, we tend to relearn, we tend to, revisit them and learn, deeper truths, because there are always higher heights and deeper depths. And, so, being spiritual, like I've said, and, I've, come to realize many times over, it's not being at this perfect frequency all the time, in which we are always in that happy-go-lucky frequency, It's being, our higher selves, but also many a times revisiting, our shadow selves. And those are the characteristics and the aspects of us that aren't so socially accepted or or beautiful. I'm going to say colorful or beautiful. Overall, all in all facets and aspects of us, you know, are like a rainbow, colorful. That's us, all in all, through and through, overall. And being balanced is therefore not, you know, always being the white witch. Sometimes it, you know, entails us rather being the dark witch, the black witch. And don't play too much in the color coding of these frequencies. Some of you are, you know, just too sensitive. Like this, you know, I'm going to put in quotation, Gwen Berry. I don't even want to say her name. And, you know, I intentionally, in, you know, the previous posts, the second to last previous post to this one, commonized all letters of her name. Yeah. Because whilst I don't want to, you know, bash anyone, we're all here, you know, spiritual beings experiencing, you know, human, you know, lives. You know, it is high time we transcend to higher frequencies. I've been saying this for years now. And, you know, everything is everything. Every religion, every path, every, you know, guru, every, you know, teacher, you know, leader, you know, has and, you know, do serve a great purpose in the whole tribe of humanity. But now we are in the age of Aquarius, of balance and oneness. And Aquarius is the alien of the zodiac. Okay? I'm traversing these frequencies, you know, this particular frequency, to put it in a collective. It's about being different and accepting our differences, not highlighting them, not making them a thing. It's like being a Sigma, okay? Okay, I'm a Sigma female. It's like being a Sigma. I'm different. I accept that I'm different. I love that I'm different. I'm not forcing anyone else to be like me. I want everyone to be themselves. And just live. I'm not being different because I want to make a point. I am putting up a temper tantrum. I'm not, quote unquote, being a liberalist or, being an advocate because I just want to be seen or get attention, because that's not what the hermit wants. The hermit wants peace and isolation and solitude. And damn it, every time the hermit has to, get up out of that frequency and, speak. But it's the other aspects that the hermit, has. Aquarius sign. And so, when people catch me on that day when my Aquarius frequencies are highly aspected or on fleek, like I can remember specifically, whilst, on internship, we were, studying, we're preparing to, work in them called, contact center rooms. Okay, they say, don't call them call centers, contact centers. I remember that, very well. Sutherland, by Sutherland, okay? Contact center. They say they're not a call center, they're a contact center. And I never forgot, I never forgot that. You see, things that we learn, we never truly forget. And I remember going to, get my police record in Maypen and Maypen Clarendon. And the woman, she looked at my ID. At that day, I was a bit, excited, hyper, in that Aquarian frequency and mode. Yay, And she was like, I guess she, believed, or, I'm going to say believed because, people's, beliefs, they transform and they change. Like I said, a spiraling staircase. And she was like, she saw my date of birth, and she's like, you're a Virgo, but you don't act anything like a Virgo, behave like a Virgo. Because Virgos are the hermit, they tend to be recluse and, just very withdrawn. But that's pretty much, if we don't trust you or like you. But not that I trusted that woman in particular. I was just feeling just really good, really happy that day. Plus, I'm not sure what frequency the moon was, traversing, and that has a lot to do as well in regards to what aspects of one's natal chart, is, dominant on any given day. And so she was like, you don't act like a Virgo. I'm not sure if that time I was, aware. Yes, I think I was aware that I was Aquarius moon. That was when I was, really just stepping into astrology. Yeah. There were, some, confusion in regards to my, rising frequency at the time. I eventually, figured it out through much investigation and intuition. And, but for sure, I knew I was Aquarius moon. And I'm not sure if I, made, if I, made that known to her, that, so and so. But, people, many times, see certain traits or characteristics, exuded from us. And they think that, okay, that's how Sun Virgos behave. No. A lot of times you're looking at the moon, frequencies, being emitted, the emotions. And because the moon strongly affects our emotions, the moon is our, satellite or natural satellite. It's guidance, it's satellite, they offer for, a form of guidance. And that's our emotions. And therefore, the moon being Cancer frequency, you know, represents just that, emotions, and it affects our emotions. Majority of our body is water. When we're dead and, dehydrated, there's pretty much nothing much there. The water, which makes up a lot of the percentage of the blood, makes up a lot of the percentage of the body. And there's water in pretty much everything. The earth, is mostly water, okay? And so the whole earth, Gaia, is strongly, if you want to say manipulated or controlled by this much smaller body that we call our satellite, the moon, which is our emotion, including that of Gaia's. Okay? So everything is everything. Now, in regards to, and then you've got the rising frequency. I'm Pisces rising. That's a water sign. And if I'm not mistaken, that's a second decan Pisces rising. Now, that would make me, pull strongly on that Cancer frequency, because second decan Pisces is Cancer. It's still Pisces rising, but it's in the decan of Cancer, second decan Pisces, because everything is a cycle. The Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces again, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Do you feel me? Okay. So I'm a Cancer trine, Aquarius trine, Virgo trine. Earth trine, fire trine, water trine, air trine. So I pretty much have all the, elements, you know, strongly aspected in my natal chart. It's, perfect balance, pretty much. So, with that being said, I feel, the, frequencies of the moon, strongly. And so I can definitely, tell, how a moon and, Taurus feels, how a moon in, Gemini feels, a moon in Cancer, how, all, these moon frequencies they feel. And that's, an aspect of being an intuitive, being able to feel and differentiate and, discern using your feelings, because that's what intuition is. Water frequency, using one's emotions, but your emotions have got to be balanced. That moon in Aquarius, I feel, but I'm detached from the feelings. And so I can pretty much step outside of the box, even outside of my own box, and psychoanalyze my own self, my own feelings. Why am I feeling this way? Oh, it is because of so and so. Okay, that's okay. That too shall pass. You understand me? Okay. And that's how pretty much I was able to deal with a lot of unfortunate circumstances, in my life. What, many of you consider unfortunate at least. But everything happens for, a reason. So in regards to this, this young person, I've said many a times that a lot of these people, they're just attention whores. It's just distractions. They're just distracting the tribe of humanity from transcending, with their lust, and greed for attention. I've said many a times, if we're going to deal with this whole segregation thing, black people, the black community, the white community, the Asian community, which we see a lot of dispersion and separation happening now. And I also said, months ago, if not over a year ago, or if not 2 years ago, that first there's going to be a great separation before the coming together. I did just scroll down my timeline. If it's not this Instagram, it's the original. Let me not say the original. The one prior to this one, Sky Goddess Infinity, without the ink. Okay. Period. Dot. So most I said is separating the the wheat from the tare. Okay. Those who are just nothing but trouble. Let me just say that. If you don't believe in, us having a creator, it makes no sense to speak to you. First and foremost, Gwen Berry, if you ever get to listen to this video. Because, the Most High says, the fool says within his heart, there is no God. And a fool is, a wicked person, someone who's also mentally deranged, of unsound mind. And therefore, there is no reasoning with such individuals. So if you don't believe in God, or anyone else out there for that matter, who, are claiming to be, Afrocentric, down for the rights of the black community, you know, it makes no sense to talk to you, because the truth is, your history, which you're pretty much oblivious to, and you think that you've discovered it, is in the Bible. Deuteronomy 28, and, who ends them, the entire Bible. I've said many a times, all races have been, victims of, slavery throughout the entire human history. And this is, too, not just, as a result of, fear, which, transmuted into hatred, inferiority. When one's different, when people see it, we see this still happening, when we see people who aren't like us, different from us, having different principles, different, bearing different traditions, we tend to cast them off as, rejects, weirdos. We tend to feel, people rather tend to feel, because that's not me, tend to feel rather very inferior towards these people, because they don't understand them. And with that lack of understanding and, uncertainty of, what they're capable of doing, who they could possibly be, there comes that fear. And from that fear, of not, of being uncertain of who these, people are, including extraterrestrial life forms out there who we will come to see once we transcend to higher frequencies, there comes that hatred of wanting to destroy and to deplete them. Now we're transcending, and, no longer, are the whites separated from the blacks. Let's appreciate this moment in history, because this too will become history, though not forgotten, because the past, present, and future, like I've said many times, are parallel, alongside each other. They're not adjacent, nor are they perpendicular, okay? They're all connected. It's a, continuum, okay? And, I've noticed, like I said, whilst I was staying with that white woman in Rockabessa, it was the safest I've ever felt. I never felt safe around anyone before. Now, Jamaica is a black dominant country. Yes? And, I've been around black people mostly for most of my life. And the safest I felt, like I said, was around that white woman in Rockabessa. Yeah. And that sounds pretty sad. Now, a lot of you, quote-unquote, black Americans may, beg to differ. But it is for you to psychoanalyze yourselves. Why is this so? I didn't even listen to the interview that she gave that they previewed on, Sky News Australia, because the very, beginning of that interview, just screamed arrogance and ignorance. And I was going to do a video yesterday, but I was so irritated and angered that I, feel like I would have said a lot of things about this Gwen Berry that would, make me, seem just as arrogant as she is. And I decided I don't want to project myself like that anymore. That's what I'm trying to, encourage people away from. Okay? She is an idiot. Let's not forget that. Because that's what arrogance is. It's pretty much being idiotic. Thinking that you're smart when you're not so smart. Well, you might be smart, but you're not wise, and that's that's the gem right there in being wise. You know, having wisdom. To understand the knowledge that you claim you have. What do you know about history? She knows nothing about history. And like I said, if you don't believe in God, it makes no sense to talk to you. Because in the black community, the black people, they're the most religious people. They claim the Bible is, their book. And yet they know nothing of it. The ass and the ox knoweth its owner, but not the children of Israel. That's your heritage. Your Israelites, descendants, all descendants from the transatlantic slave trade. Why did you all go into captivity, which wasn't the first nor the second time? Because of wickedness, your wickedness, and your infidelity towards the Most High God. Israel was, the Most High's, in some, parallel, you may say wife, in some, you may say child. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not, trying to project any, perversion here, but try to understand in terms of frequencies. That's how the Most High, valued the children of Israel. And pretty much I said that's because you are the most unruly majority, 2/3 of you, set of people. And therefore Most High knew and saw that y'all needed guidance. The Bible, which you neglected many times, even now. You were given the laws and the commandments and the statutes. You reverend none of them. You're the ones who, manipulated with, use reverse psychology and manipulated Pontius Pilate to crucify the Christ, the King, who hailed from amongst us. But, it was a good thing he didn't come for Israel. He came for the whole world. For God so loved the whole world. Yeah? For God so loved the world that he gaveth his only begotten Son, so that whosoever, doesn't matter race, creed, tribe, ethnicity, believeth in him, should not perish, but have everlasting life. Them people up in Israel united in Christ, they don't understand that scripture. They too are in darkness. Stop, blaming, these white people. Just as I'm, looking at these people who I, grew up amongst. There's an enemy spirit in them. And the Most High put it there. Just as he hardened Pharaoh's heart against the children of Israel, so that his will could be done. Now, if we're going to be angry at anyone, it should be the Most High. But we are not allowed, not even to be angry at him. Because it is not our will, but it is his will be done. And there's always a purpose in all his chastisements. Now, when we see we're being, flogged and, chastised, like we see with the COVID-19, regardless of the vaccines, now there are deadlier variants. Heat waves killing, many people. The Antarctic, and, the Arctic Circle in, a crisis. wars and rumors of wars, earthquakes, famine, and pestilence. Now, you might not be experiencing famine where you are right now, but there are many places experiencing this. It has always been. Now it's going to become more prevalent, more widespread. When we see the Most High punishing us, that's pretty much what it is. What do? We stop and we ask, oh Lord God, what have I done? What have we done? Pretty much it's late for us to ask that now because we're in the finale, like I said, Revelations. Let him that is wicked be wicked still, and him that is righteous be righteous still. The wrath of God is upon humanity, and it's just that period dot. You know, not saying the universe is going to be destroyed or the earth is going to be destroyed. That's not so. But majority of humanity is going to perish. It is, the grand purging. This time it's not with water. Yes, many will die, from drowning, from flooding, but it's the fire that's coming. Space rocks colliding and bombarding the Earth's atmosphere, striking, areas of the planet, incinerating the place with heat that the Earth has never, humanity has never experienced before. Now these heat waves are nothing. I've traveled to the astral plane and I've seen these rocks. They're something. And the Most High said that he sees the wicked. He sees the wicked because he stands in time indefinite, past, present, future. And he sees the wicked. He's just there watching them. But at the same time, he's also watching their destruction. Because to him, they all exist in one day. 1,000 years to us is just but one day to the Most High God. And that's pretty much because he stands in time indefinite. There is no past, present, or future for him. There is just only now. And within the now, he sees the wicked, doing all kinds of foolishness, performing all kinds of gimmicks and acts as though, they're in circuses. But within that, also that same now, he sees their end, their fate, their destruction. And so he laughs. And how ignorant they are, yet pretending to be so wise. But wisdom comes from the Most High God. But the wicked is also a fool. And the fool says, there is no God. Therefore, there is no wicked. No, there's no wisdom for the wicked. So the wicked, though he boasts and pretends he's wise, it's just another illusion. So let's, transcend to higher frequencies. The white man, the Chinese man, Japanese, all these other races, they're making advancements, and contributions, meaningful contributions towards humanity. What is the black man doing? He's stuck in the past. Now the past is there to guide us in terms of, lessons, learning from our, mistakes and moving on from them. Using them, gaining wisdom from them. From them past, occurrences, wisdom, understanding, from the knowledge of them. But it's not to live there. Now, a lot of black people say they want what they call repatriation. Is that what what the word is? where they want, to receive, funding or money for, what they call centuries of hard work that, were unpaid for. What is the plan? Because black people, they lack capitalism. They have no good business sense. What is the purpose of all that money? What is it going to do for the quote-unquote black community? Nothing. Now, y'all don't need that. Or it's all the other races, they need that. Like I've said, all the other races, okay, have also been, victims of slavery. Shut the fuck up. Gwenberries out there, shut up. This whole thing is getting out of control and out of hand now. And you, majority of you black people, are not contributing. You're not pulling your weight because you're stuck in religions and dogmas. Listen, the Most High didn't call us onto religions. He called us to spirituality, to connect with Him. And that's where you've been getting it wrong this whole time. You are the ones who systemize things. Yes. And then you see the white man systemizes things. You're the ones who give into these religions. Okay, so you say, the white man, he just showed you your heritage because the Most High led him to. He didn't brainwash you. Now you're the ones who systemized that, all of that, and created all these different denominations and this and that to mislead yourselves, because everything for you is vanity. You're the ones who physicalize everything. The aspect of spirituality, which should be spiritual. That's what it is. We're spiritual beings having human experiences. Now you say white people, taught you Christianity. What's the percentage in comparison to black people of white people out there who are Christians? So few white people are Christians and stuck to these religious dogmas and denominations. So few. And you black people, you're so caught up in religions. These cults, those are the true cults that have you hating on specific group of people. Have you hating against white people? Some of these cults, some of them have you hating against, homosexuals. Some of them have you hating against, women who, braid their hairs. Some hating against women who relax their hairs, who wear hair extensions, who wear, who get their nails and manicured, who wear pants, who wears. Listen, you black people, you're the ones who do these things. Majority of you. Not saying there are not white people who are also a part of these cults, but what's the percentage in regards to the percentage of black people who are, enraptured in these low vibrational, negative, communities? Get out of the past. We're in the age of Aquarius. Freedom. Freedom's ringing. Have you not realized that you are free? The only reason why you all think that you still need to prove yourselves is because you keep segregating yourselves. In the white man's world, believe it or not, as long as you have the skills, the talents, the attributes, the traits that will make his business prosperous, you will get your due reward. You will get your promotion. I find that seldomly occurring in the black community. Now that's an issue that needs to be, dealt with. Colorism. Especially in, black dominant countries or black dominant communities in even white dominant countries. And don't you dare get up, you Gwenberries out there, numbskulls, and say, it's, a mental defect, or, it's a result of, the white man's, programming, and, the white man, destroying the black people's mental prowess, the black people's mentalities. Are you serious? I did a video, 2 videos rather, some weeks ago. I think it was in June, where which I spoke out about healing ourselves and just leave the white people alone. Yeah, we all suffer from some trauma, but majority of you black people refuse to deal with your own traumas. You keep blaming other people for your traumas. Okay, you blame your mamas, you blame your daddies, you blame your siblings, you blame, the other races, you blame your ex-spouses, you blame your exes, you blame your children, you blame your quote-unquote ex-friends, you blame your friends, you blame everyone for the horrible choices that you've made. And for the horrible choices that you keep on making. And for your inadequacies. Rise above that. I've been through a lot. I'm not one to, talk about my business, but I realize that, is a heavy part of my life purpose, because I'm here telling y'all, come together and be as one. Everybody, they have all these kind of different, pathetic excuses as to why they can't. And I'm telling you all that I've been through, and yet I could have still, risen up, out of all these circumstances, in spite of. I've created my own company in homelessness and much lack, starvation, no support from so-called family members, from so-called, men who I, was along with at them during them crucial points in my life, where in which, people would think they need people all the more. And, this is actually reminding me that we always travel to the spiritual plane, the spiritual realm, the astral plane, but sometimes, many times, we forget. Now I'm remembering that I actually did. I'm actually kind of remembering an aspect of that travel. And it was a travel that I took with my mother. It was as though she and I were going on a journey, a travel. That hit a nerve right there. That reminds me of a, message I received from an intuitive recently. And probably one that I received a few years ago. Or a little over a year ago. So I'm not surprised. Spirit let me, remember all that I'm supposed to remember, for my soul's sake, for my spirit's sake, for my highest good, and for the glorification of your name. We all have some pain, some trauma. Every one of us. Don't think that, the white man, the white woman, the white, children, they don't have theirs. it might, might be manifested in a different form or way, but it is trauma nonetheless. Stop pitying yourselves, black people, because a lot of you, like I said, you're cruel as hell. A lot of you have put me through hell. And at the end of the day, there's no reason for you to be so curmudgeon and thieving. I'm homeless. I'm not curmudgeon. I'm not a thief. I'm not unscrupulous. I'm not money grubbing. I'm not fearful of lack. So a lot of you being quote unquote wanton is no excuse for you to try to scam each other and rob each other. You scam everybody, including your quote unquote own. And then when you get incarcerated, you blame the white man. He's the reason why you've been suffering so much, why you got to do all these crimes. Say what again? Why am I not, taking part in these crimes? Why is it that I'm, able to abase until it is my time to abound? The hell is this? Now, y'all have been, put in a very lowly estate so that you black people learn to abase and accept that frequency. You cannot be leaders if you are arrogant and ignorant pupils or, followers. You don't know how to follow. You don't know how to take instructions well. You try to break every rule there is in the book. The holy book and the man-made book. Man-made books. Majority of you. Now, if I could have started a company with Spirit's help, which is basically, I'm trying to show y'all that's all the help anyone needs. So you don't need to be scamming or, screwing over anyone to become successful. And I am a success. And I will receive my Jupiter. I am receiving my Jupiter. But the physicality of it, that Solomon's glory aspect of it, is coming. I'm speaking it over my life. It is here. It is now. Because the past, present, and future all exist at one time. I've seen a lot of black people receive many beautiful opportunities and wasted them. Many black people out there live way better, what a lot of you would consider in a vain, from a vain, point of view. Have way more, physical support than I do. Stop playing into the physical support. Play into the spiritual support. Seek God. That's what y'all need to do. And I'm not talking through these religions. Personally, through spirituality, stoicism, isolation. You chat too fucking much. Majority of you black people. And you congregate in groups and gangs too much. That's where a lot of you get, these illusionary, sense of, self-confidence and self-esteem and, courage. That's pretty much fake. Isolate. The COVID-19 is here to teach you all that as well. Isolate and connect to your higher selves. Understand your shadow selves, and most importantly, develop an authentic relationship with the Creator. Your Creator or Creator, the Most High God, the Great Spirit, the Divine One, the universe. Now I'm gonna leave it there, people. I feel like enough said. I don't want to hear, all of this and all of that. Fix the problems within your immediate communities, okay? If you want to keep with this segregation bullshit, black community, white community, Asian community, all of that's gonna fall away. Just leave them people out there who are talking about, their countries and their, communities and all of that, and all of that has to take place. We're in that day. It's like a reenactment. The scriptures as well. The prophecies. They. There's nothing new under the sun. The Most High says. Okay, to his his saints, his people. In the Bible. That's what Solomon said. There's nothing new under the sun. The wisest man there ever was. Because he feared the Most High God. No new thing under the sun. But even his life was a lesson to us that a little leaven does leaven up the whole lump. So you got to be careful of your companies, because as wise as you are, and as you fear, as much as you fear the Most High God, having the wrong company around you can corrupt all of that. So there's nothing new under the sun, and now we are again in the battle of King Jehoshaphat. Okay, only the saints, only those strong in spirit will endure. All those who are enemies of the Most High God will destroy themselves and will be destroyed. I'm gonna leave it there, people. We are in Revelations, okay? And a lot of things, though they seem to be reenacting, it's just pretty much a conclusion of the whole matter. Domes are eclipsed and all now is seen. The spiritual realm be merged with the physical one. All prophecies being fully realized and happening all at once is as though past, present, and future, they're all now intertwined. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you guys for listening. Sky Goddess, at you, my soul family, soul tribe. Namaste. Three kisses for you.